have in front of me here a fixed TV wall bracket, which can cater for TVs anywhere from the size of 23 inches all the way up to 42 inches. So basically, the VESA standards that it support would be 200 by 200 all the way up to 400 by 400. So VESA standard is the standard of distance between the holes that are preordained in terms of your televisions for allowing to be mounted. And there's an international standard for that, okay? So if we come along and we look at this particular unit here, well, what comes in this little pack? Well, the first thing is we have a user manual, which you can see here. It's very brief, and it's just giving an overview of how to safely mount this bracket and your television onto either a dry-lined wall or concrete wall. And then in terms of the rest of it here, we have three basic parts to it. We have the bracket for mounting onto the wall, we have the nuts and bolts that we're going to use during the process, and we have two brackets here that will actually mount onto the television. So let's just start off and we'll talk about the bracket that mounts onto the wall. So if we see this here, we'll see it's sort of a mirror image of itself, so you can rotate it around and it's exactly the same. And what we have here is slotted holes on the top and also on the bottom. So what we'll use this is, we'll mount this on the wall, we'll get it square using the spirit level here, and what we'll do then is we'll mark 4 guide holes here, we'll drill it, the holes, we'll use the plugs and the heavy duty screws that we see here to mount this bracket on the wall, and then we have the first part of the assembly done, okay? So the next thing then is to come along and we'll get one of these brackets here, and the first thing we'll notice is the string hanging out of it, and we're taking this quite strange. So what we'll do is, we will use, depending on the VESA standard, we'll use some of these holes here and we'll actually mount, we'll say, a bolt through here and go directly into our television. And on the far end here, we'll see the holes are slotted. So we have a little bit of play to work with here, although the VESA standard, you know, it's pretty standard stuff, so it shouldn't be any difficulty there. And what we'll do here is, we'll have, so this bracket then will be bolted very securely onto the television, and the next part of it will be that we'll actually want to come along and we will want to, once we have both brackets mounted on the television, we'll want to use this to actually suspend the television safely off the bracket on the wall. So if we come along here, we'll see there's a lip on this bracket here. So if we have a television here, we'll come along and we'll try to drop it in, but I'm just going to show you here. We can see a difficulty here that we have the lip on the top but not on the bottom, it's not sitting in. So I'll just drop this again and I'll just show you the idea of this string here is that we can pull down on this and it'll pull this down. So now if we go to actually marry this onto it, I'll just try to hold it and do it in one go. I've been able to display it for the video. We'll come along, we drop it on here, we let it release up. Now we can see, if we had this mounted and a television on it, we try to put a force from below and push up, it's caught on the lip because now we have it locked on. And if we try to push it off the end of the bracket, you can see there's a lip there that catches this as well. So it's quite effective to that extent. So just giving a quick overview of the actual bracketry here, etc., or the nuts and bolts. We've 6 different types of bolts here, depending on the VESA standard and the size of the holes we'll find on the television. And we also have these little step-off guides here, and we'll use these actually if you just wanted to adjust the angle and the distance of the television from the wall, okay? So that's it anyway. I'll just hold up the box again so you can see it. That's just an overview of the fixed wall TV bracket, and it can support televisions from 23 inches all the way up to 42 inches.